Shalom. I want to start out by giving all honor, all glory, all praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rokaha, Quadash. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, and double honors to the elders, prophets, and teachers who rule well and taught us this 100% truth. Now I ended up stumbling across this camp. I think their name is One in Yahweh Shai. I think it used to be One in Christ or something along those lines. But he said something that was going off, you know. So we're gonna address it, and I have another video that he said that it really vexed me, and we're gonna go into that as well. But first things first, let's address this video, right?
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 48.
Say read, brother.
Be ye therefore perfect.
Do what?
Be ye therefore perfect.
Read.
Even as your Father, which is in heaven, perfect.
Why would Christ tell us to be perfect as our Father in heaven is perfect if we couldn't be that? That's the standard. He ain't gonna.
Matthew chapter
And absolutely going off, man. You cannot be perfect. I'm gonna repeat that. You cannot be perfect in this flesh that we're in right now, man. You can't. Now we're gonna go into that verse that he brought up, right? This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. Now, when he said, be ye therefore perfect, what was he going into? Let's grab that in the blue letter. Let's lock you. Perfect.
Strong's G 5046. Teleos. Teleos.
So you're going to get teleos, right? Drop down to the biblical outline usage, brought to its end, finished, right? Wanting nothing necessary to completeness, right? Perfect, that which is perfect, consummate human integrity and virtue of men, full grown adult of full age, mature, right? So this isn't going into you being perfect and sinless, man. Right, because everyone's gonna have what a different level, Salakia, measure of faith, right? And let's pull that. Right now, this is the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 3. For I say, through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to, that he ought to think. So that man is thinking of himself very highly. If he think that he can be perfect, that's not possible. But to think soberly, according to the Most High, have dealt every man a measure of faith. Everyone has a measure of faith and a different measure of faith, man. Right? So, there might be one brother that has more faith than another brother, and so on and so forth, man. And the same thing vice versa. Right? Everyone's dealt their own measure. So perfection, right, according to that person, it's going to be different, man. That's why it says right here, brought to its end, finished. What? Wanting nothing necessary to completeness. Everyone's going to have their own level of completeness. Salakia. Everyone's going to have their own level of completeness and faith. And this dude doesn't understand that, man. And one thing he's severely lacking in is that he thinks that it's possible to live in perfection and perfectly, man. That's not possible. Right? Let's get a precept. Slakia. Allergies, man. This is the book of what the fuck? The first time that popped up, it would pop up. Slakia. Go back. Okay, cool. It's the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 19. For the earnest expectation. Jeez, man, I'm just tongue twisted this morning. Let me start that from the top. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of the Most High. Right? For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly. You hear that? It was made subject to vanity. Let's get that in the blue letter. Let's get that. I might get it in etymology.com as well. Right? A subject.
Strong's G 5293. Hupatasso. Hupatasso.
Hupatasso. So that goes to arrange under, to subordinate, right? To subject, put in subjection. To subject oneself, obey. What? And what were they made subject to or put in subjection to? Sin. Right? For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly. It wasn't willingly, man. This had to happen. But by the reason of him who hath subjected the same in hope. And that's the reason we were put right into this state, is so that we can earn, so that we can get hope, so we can have hope, Salakia. Right? Also, I did not straighten that up. Right? And like I said, I'm going to pull that in etymology.com. Right? Subject. Subget. Person under control or dominion of another. Right? Especially one who owes allegiance to a government or ruler, man. And what is that government or ruler? Is sin, vanity. Right? That's what we were made subject to. Meaning what? You're not going to be able to just completely cut sin out of your life, man. You're going to fall short. That's a part of being in these chains of darkness, which is this flesh. You're going to go off, man. It's going to happen. Right? That's why we need Yahweh Shai. He's going to cover where we fall short. If you think that you can keep the law perfectly, what was the point of Yahweh Shai coming? What was the point of it, man? You so damn holy that you can be perfect. What did we need Yahweh Shai for? Come on, man. And let me grab what Paul said real quick, right? Salakia. This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Right? Sold under sin, man. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that I do not. But what I hate, that I do. And we are to hate what? Sin. Paul is saying, I hate sin, but I do it. That which I hate, that do I. It's like keep getting tongue twisted this morning. But even Paul is saying, yo, I keep going after sin. Why? Because we were made subject to it. Our flesh is going to constantly crave it, man. This flesh is also known as these chains of darkness, man. And they will not be lifted until Yahweh Shai comes back, man. And we get those new bodies, right? We're going to get rid of this heart of stone and replace it with a heart of flesh, right? And we'll be able to keep these commandments perfectly. That's when we will live perfect. Not here on earth right now, when we get the kingdom, man. You know, Lord's will. You know, Yahweh Ratazah. That I'm a part of that number, you know. Let's grab a precept. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 64, verse 6. But we are all as an unclean thing, and all our righteousness are as filthy rags. And we all do fade as a leaf, and our iniquities, like the wind, have taken us away. So our righteousness is like filthy rags, man. So all those works you think you keeping, which you're not keeping them correctly. Like no one is keeping the Sabbath day correctly. Right? If your heat is cutting on, that's sin. If you use hot water, that's sin. Right? If you're driving your car, that's sin. If you're working, that's sin. Right? And some of us have to work on the Sabbath, or we won't get our bills paid, or we'll be fired. Some of us have to turn on the heat. We got kids. We got little ones, man. Right? The temperature be dropping down over here to sometimes like 20 or below. Gotta have the heat on, man. Got little ones in the house. Right? You can't live this thing perfectly, Jake. You're not perfect, and you're unable to be perfect in this flesh. That's why we need those new bodies, man. Right? Your clothes that you have on, even if you have on a garment, right? What kind of stitching did you use? There's a lot of people that they'll make a linen garment, but they'll use cotton stitching or polyester stitching. I don't even know if linen has, if they make a sewing thread. If I'm wrong, Salakia, but I don't think they do. You know, those jeans you have on, they're denim. And what are they stitched with? Cotton thread. even if they say 100%, they're not 100%. Guess what? You have a tag on that. That's not 100%. Right? Some tags are stitched into the jeans. That's not 100%. If your jean has any type of elasticity in it, that's not 100%. Your underwear will never be 100%. Even if they say 100% cotton, guess what? As soon as elastic goes in that band, it's not 100% anymore, my dude. So what are we talking about here? You can't live perfectly. It's not possible. Not in this world and not in this flesh. You got to understand that, Jake. Right? Romans chapter 3, verse 23, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of the Most High, man. We all have sinned in some way, shape, form, or fashion. All have sinned and come short, right? What did I just say? If you wear underwear, man, undergarments, whatever you want to call them, they will never be 100%. That's not possible. You wouldn't be able to wear them if they were. But Jake don't understand that, man. He think he could live perfect. What did he say, man? Let me go back. What did he say? Salak.
The 5 and verse
You gotta
48.
say read, brother.
Be ye therefore perfect.
Do what?
Be ye therefore perfect.
Read.
Even as your Father, which is in heaven, perfect.
Why would Christ tell us to be perfect as our Father in heaven is perfect if we couldn't be that?
If we couldn't be that. What are you talking about, man? You can't be that. You can't. You cannot. Like how many more precepts do you want to go grab, man? You could have got cut up by a Christian that actually knew the scriptures. They could have came to you and confounded you, bro. They could have confounded the shit out of you. And some of you would probably say, well, do we even need to keep them at all? Yeah, you still need to keep them, man. Let's grab a precept. Now, this is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17, verse 25. Return unto Yahweh and forsake thy sins. Make thy prayer before his face and offend less. That's the key right there. So, yes, we still got to keep the commandments, man. We can't just go and sin willingly. But what? We have to offend less because we're going to fall short, man. We're going to fall short. Just to grab this real quick, because I did mention it, this is the book of Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. So no, we can't get this truth and then continue to live, serving sin. But you're supposed to keep the laws to the best of your ability, man. Some of us have to go to work on a Shabbat. It has to be that way, or we're going to be homeless and not be able to take care of our families. Okay. Some people, if you have a baby, right, and you got to warm their bottle up, sometimes you got to do that, man. And it might be the Shabbat, right? Not all women are breastfeeding out there, and even if they were, sometimes you still got to warm that milk up, man, or that baby won't eat. I've literally had a child that would not drink cold milk. It is what it is, man. So you got to turn on the heat in the winter. You got to turn on the AC in the summer. See, it's not possible to live perfectly in this flesh and in this kingdom, this wicked ass kingdom of Esau Edom. It's not possible, man. It's not possible. So we have to what? Offend lest, aka keep the commandments to the best of our ability. And the elders of GMS have been saying that. Right? That's how I know that these men have the 100% truth. The Wada Yahweh for leading me to these brothers. Now we're going to jump into the second video real quick because something was said in this second video that really irritated me. Salakia, let me pull it up. this.
Come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments.
See, how many commandments were you taught? 10. I just give you the normal status quo in America. 10 commandments. How many of them do you keep? None of them don't you? But see, that's why you're under the curse system.
That's right.
So if you're not doing anything in here, you're not being blessed.
That's right.
Read on.
Bullshit. That's bullshit. That's grade A bullshit. Like this look, if you found out you were an Israelite and you came into this truth when you were still in the world, aren't you in sin? You're not keeping the commandments? Was that not a blessing that you came into the truth? So that's bullshit, man. That alone. What about the brothers and sisters that are not in the truth that have children, right? That woman, right, carried that baby healthily for the set amount of months she was supposed to, and then gave a healthy birth. Was that not a blessing? So what are you talking about? People receive blessings from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai who don't deserve them. And they receive blessings even if they don't don't worship him. They still receive some form of blessing, man, some form of mercy. Right? Before we were in the truth, we were sinners. And we were blessed with what? The ability to understand this truth and come back into the fold. Because, there's a saying, once a prophet, always a prophet. But we were blessed when we were in the midst of sin. Then we realized what we were doing and, turn. But you can't just say what did he say? Go back. Let me replay it. I don't want to put words in his mouth, man.
Thing in here, you're not being blessed. That's why you're under the curse system.
That's right.
So if you're not doing anything in here, you're not being blessed.
That's right.
Read on.
What? And let's grab a precept real quick, man. Salakia. That shit irritated me, man. It really did. The moment I heard it, I was like, whoa, you're going off, man. Now, like I said, regarding a child, man, when a woman gives birth, and I'm gonna end it after this precept, right? This is the book of Genesis, chapter 4, verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, listen, I have gotten a man from Yahweh. That is a blessing from Yahweh, man. So every woman that you see out there giving birth, that's a blessing, man. And who did it come from? Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Point blank in a period, man. Guess what? There's a lot of people that's not in the truth that's giving birth to kids every day. There's some people that's not in the truth that got 13, 14 kids. You saying none of those kids were a blessing? Are you fucking serious? You saying the fact that they can they're continuing to wake up is not mercy and a blessing? Even if they're being saved for destruction, that's still mercy. Because realistically, once you commit sin, you're to be taken out. You should be taken out immediately. You should be immediately unalived, man. It should be immediate. You should not be allowed to live any further. The moment you go off, man, and that includes myself. The moment I went off, I should have been unalived. But through mercy, I wasn't. Right? And a blessing to me was that I came into this truth. And I was able to find the men that held the 100% truth, which I was not worthy of at all. So, hey, we got to get out of this high-minded ass spirit where we think that we can be perfect. Because if you think that you can be perfect, are you saying that you're perfect? Hey, I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to put no words in his mouth. And with that, I pray that this was edifying. And with that, shalom.